Stay cool. This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents Science is like magic and magic tricks. Astronomy is much like Hogwarts, a school of wizardry and sciencecraft. Yeah, that's right. Welcome to Asteroid Challenge Fight Club. I'm your host, Thor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are over the hill, at the hill, talking about home policy, energy, and environment. And apparently, senators vote to block EPA's use of secret science. Oh, this sounds fascinating. April 28, 2015. Senators vote to block EPA's use of secret science. Barack Obama saying, "What we have here is a failure to communicate." Did I get that Barack Obama accent down well? Wow, his hair is really gray. Must be hard being president. Okay, by Timothy Chameleon. A Senate committee voted Tuesday to prohibit the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, from using secret science to back its regulations. Wow. That sounds bad, man. Like, hey, we got regulations. Well, where did you come up with those regulations? From our secret science. Can I see it? Hell no, it is secret. Okay, and I know from the times that I've been in relationships before, I always loved it. And I was like, "So, baby, what were you doing till 5 in the morning?" And she was like, "Secret science. I'll never tell." And a breakup would usually follow. Sweet. The vote in the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee came after the GOP-controlled House repeatedly approved the bill. It previous was stalled in Democratic majority Senate. Under the measure, which President Obama has threatened to veto if the Senate passes it, the EPA would only be allowed to use scientific studies whose detailed results are posted publicly online. Okay, first of all, I don't believe in either party. I think both parties are total garbage, Democrats and Republicans. This sounds logical, which is weird. You know, usually politicians don't come up with logical ideas. I mean, why would you not want to post your public... See, here's the big problem I have with science, is that they're always out in public telling us, "Oh, we love you, we're here for you, we're taking care of you." They're like, "Oh, humans can't be perfect, but science can." It's like, what? Okay. I believe science, like anything else, can be extremely corrupted, corroded, kookified. And the fact that science PR firm keeps getting louder and more aggressive is a turn off. That's why me and science are just friends with benefits. Okay, I don't see what the harm is here, man. Like, whatever science you're using to regulate laws and people and actions, habits, well, we should be allowed to know. Hey, we paid for that shit. You see, here's weird. Maybe like EPA's turned into NASA, or maybe the EPA's always been NASA and it's just been so boring and wonky nobody ever cared. And now that I'm minorly mastering solar and weather science, I'm going, hey, I care, man. And why can't you publicly post all your results online? It's science, after all, correct? The EPA has a long history of relying on science that was not created by the agency itself, which is fine. This often means that the science is not available to the public, and therefore cannot be reproduced and verified. Why can't they just post all their results online? Kind of like when everybody like, "Ooh, we found 4 planets around a star." Like, can I see the photographs instead of this artistic renderation? Okay, great. What this bill is trying to accomplish is to make sure that we strengthen the scientific information the EPA uses to make regulations, guidance, and assessments, he confirmed. And so, now both parties are jackhats, but it still doesn't sound so bad. So want to explain to me why they can't post their science online? But Democrats said the bill would unnecessary cut in half. Man, you got grammar problems all over this article. But Democrats said the bill would unnecessary cut in half the studies that the EPA can use, because research is often uses proprietary, health-related, or otherwise restricted data. What? Because research is often uses proprietary, health-related, or otherwise restricted data. Are you guys using Skynet to write your articles? Because you're going to need to upgrade Skynet, or Skynet, you need to get smarter, faster, because you are making far too many mistakes. Unless you're speaking in code. Then I need to Go find my Calvin and Hobbes decoder ring. But my apartment's a mess. Okay, wait. The bill would cut in half. The bill would stop half the studies the EPA uses because the research is often proprietary, health-related, or otherwise restricted data. What do you mean, NASA data, man? That's what it sounds like to me. Proprietary, otherwise restricted data sounds like NASA data. Let's look up proprietary. Okay, somebody owns that data. Ooh, the company has a proprietary right to the property. So we're talking about corporate science using government funds to come up with information to back regulation, and they never even got to show you the information. Oh my God, that is sweet. I mean, in the sickest sense, of course. You know what I'm saying, man? This rabbit hole just gets slimier and slimier. All right. But hey, science, go buy a bigger bullhorn, man. Shout your friends with science in the face. Okay, so yeah, apparently half the EPA data had been fudged. Not fudged, just top secret. Top secret environmental protection data. You know that stuff in the oceans? We don't want you to see that. You know that stuff on the air? We don't want you to see that either. You know that stuff on the oxygen? We don't want you to see that. You know the carbon information that 97% of scientists? We don't want you to see that. Why? Because Coca-Cola Corporation owns it. And after this war, you're going to have to answer to them. Go science! The bill would force them to use whatever science was available after legal challenges generate from the broad language of this legislation. Yeah, can you go ahead and simplify that for me, Mr. Marquis? The bill would force them to use whatever science was available, which, yeah, they always have to use whatever science is available, after legal challenges generate. Man, this whole article is so weird. It's like none of y'all speaking English. We should be working to strengthen the scientific information the EPA uses to protect public health and improve air and water quality, not limiting it, as this bill does. We should be working to strengthen the secret scientific information the EPA uses to protect public health and improve air and water quality. Well, has the air and water quality severely improved? Man, Senator Barbara Boxer said this bill is insane. It's just a joke. Bernie Sanders says it's laughable. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, man, but all they're basically saying is you have to be able to put all of your data and information online. The entire papers, these billion-dollar, million-dollar granted papers, mostly paid for by governments or corporations. You got to put it all online, right? Transparency. You have to let the public see these grand conclusions and where they originated from, right? That sounds totally logical. Are you sure it came from the Republican Party? They must have just done it to piss off Democrats. And it sounds like it'll never fly. Obama will veto it anyways. Like, hell no, secret science. Like, secret science, baby. Trust us. We're so trustable, we have secrets. Lots of them. Who keeps secrets? Like, you're getting water data? You're like, nope, buddy, this water data is secret. You're getting atmosphere data? Oh, sorry, buddy, this atmosphere data. Tornado data? Oh, sorry, tornado data's totally secret. Volcano data? Oh, that's secret too. Strange how NASA's very never a straight answer, always a confusing explanation. And we get to see maybe the iceberg tippy tip top of their data and papers. Apparently the EPA is the same way. We just haven't been looking over there. Like, hey dudes, okay, wow, this is just a joke. The panel voted against a pair of amendments from Marquis that would have replaced the public access provision with disclosures about the funding behind research or peer review requirement. Okay, here he's busting saying, we're not going to give you access to the data used to legislate your actions and corporations' actions, but we will disclose who is funding the research. Like, they didn't disclose that before already? Really? Yeah. So here you have the Democrats fighting to keep a locked door locked. You know, that smoky room? Sounds like a lot of backdoor action going on. Oh, yes, science. Science cannot be corrupted. Science cannot be corrupted. It is far too pure, an institution with far too many members to be a secret society that would take its own interests into heart. Care not for the little people that live below our ivory tower of science. Secret science, secret science, Oh, trust us, though we don't trust you to know secret science in your face. It approved, it approved by voice vote a Boxer amendment to disapprove of policies that prohibit state employees from using terms like climate change and global warming. All right, now that's stupid. Florida Governor Rick Scott, R, and Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, R, have been accused of instituting such policies in certain state agencies. Okay, so that's stupid. So great. Yeah, so you get the Republicans doing a cool thing, and then the Democrats acting like shit sandwiches, and now you get the Republicans like, okay, we can't look like total cool guys for even 2 seconds. We gotta throw some shit on ourselves. Why? That conclusion is up to you. So they're like, yeah, now state employees are no longer allowed to use the term climate change or global warming. That is ridiculous, and that is a function of free speech. That is restricting free speech. Now, check this out. Because no matter what, okay, simple, like pretend you're in kindergarten. Let me simplify this for you. The climate changes. We're not talking about what causes climate to change. We're just saying the climate changes, right? No matter what. A million years ago, the climate changed. 100,000 years ago. Hey, guess what? The climate changed. Now, climate is changing. In the future, the climate will change. And global warming. Hey, sometimes, I guess Earth's like a DLT. Sometimes the hot part is hot and the cold part is cold. That analogy does not make sense. I sincerely apologize. But I would guess with the record number of volcanoes popping off across the globe, the Earth's probably warming up. Volcanoes, core, sounds like it's getting a little bigger, at least hotter. So these people should be allowed to use these terms. Global warming. I mean, they're terms, you know? Man, that is, God, our political system is just as bad as they want it to be. Ron Paul predicts the next big stock market crash. I could do that when they raise interest rates or stop quantitative easing. Some of this article, the Democrats, the Republicans have passed a bill. The Republicans in the House have passed a bill that the EPA can only use science that is open to the public. Meaning, if you're going to use the science, the papers and the findings that you use to come to your conclusion have to be accessible by the public, which seems totally logical. The Democrats have said, hey, we'll compromise and we'll just tell you who's funding these studies that the EPA is using to come up with their conclusions, but we won't show you the work done to get to the conclusions, right? Okay? Yeah, that's real. But don't worry, the Republicans ended up punching themselves in the face by saying, oh, and we want to restrict the use of state employees using the term climate change or global warming. Climate changes. You know, no matter what, the climate does change. I am not denying in any way, shape, or form that climate has always changed and will always change. Until there's no atmosphere, then it'll probably go away. Okay? So, yeah, here you go, man. Secret science, baby. Secret science. Trust us. Secret Society Science. Brought to you by Bill Nye. Remember him? He was the guy who was on the Disney Channel teaching kids corporate approved science.